Hello everyone, this is Radwa from CxO. CxO is a knowledge sharing platform which helps in opportunities of business and networking. Today we have a really special guest, Sir Ahsan Mashkoor, co-founder and CEO at ISSM AI. Sir, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you so much, Radwa, for having me here.
Thank you for giving us your time. And let's just get into it. Would you like to tell us about your journey so far?
Well, it's been a very interesting journey. So I am also the co-founder for C Square, and up until last year, I was also leading C Square as a CEO, but I stepped down and moved into the board. C Square is a 12-year-old company that actually provides services within the customer experience domain into the Middle Eastern market, specifically Saudi Arabia. And we also work in Pakistan quite extensively, and we have about maybe 70 to 80%, 70% market share in the banking ecosystem as far as customer experience management, deployments, and digital solutions are concerned. So that's C Square. And then obviously 2 years ago, we founded ISSM. I co-founded ISSM AI. ISSM AI is a R&D company that actually commercializes academic research in the space of AI, machine learning, and computer vision. And the objective is that, if we've been able to provide services globally, Pakistanis and Pakistani companies have been able to do that for a very long time, and we've been doing great. Why not create technology products that can compete globally as well, right? Earlier on, about 2 years ago, if you would have asked me, I would say, no, it's not possible in Pakistan because we don't have that mindset. But after creating ISM AI, I think we've got a proven track record where we've been able to commercialize academic research. And then we've been also able to compete with the big brands like IBM Watson or other big brands in the market, and we've been able to win business against them. So that's pretty much the journey on the work side as far as ISM and C Square are concerned. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so what does your day-to-day look like at the office as the CEO and a co-founder?
Yeah, so you see, I'm one of those people that cannot really sit idle for like more than 5 minutes or 10 minutes, right? Even when I'm sleeping or going to sleep, that's also when you get a lot of brainstorming done. So if I am to answer this question, up until last year, where I was the CEO for C Square, I was obviously very involved in the operations, into day-to-day operations of the organization. And I personally felt that, what I'm great at is more on the collaborations and on the sales side and envisioning or sort of looking at products or creating products. So there's no schedule as per se 9 to 5. I wouldn't say that. And even for an entrepreneur, I think the day is a very it's like peaks and troughs in terms of the schedule. So I'm not a very early riser, so that's something that I would like to confess. But the day ends when I sleep. So it's a turbulent day, a very turbulent day generally. Turbulence is good and bad both. So I take it as positive, and I love challenges, and I love overcoming challenges. So the day is quite busy.
So that sounds wonderful. So would you call yourself a workaholic?
Actually, if you ask my wife that, she'll say yes. She'll say yes. But to be honest, a mix of both, right? So I'm a very family person. I love spending time with my kids. I've got a daughter and a son. So I would try to balance it out as much as possible. Yes, but I am a workaholic because I personally feel that, you know, till you don't have that drive to reach your aspirations in life, until you're not content that you've reached there, you will continuously strive and thrive and sort of keep working, right? I mean, so if you call that a workaholic, then be it a workaholic.
Well, being a workaholic isn't all bad. So
Yeah.
outside of work, how do you unwind? Do you have any hobbies?
Yeah, absolutely. So one hobby that actually has taken a pause, but that was one of the best things that I of my day. Actually, I would say me and my daughter we go horse riding. We've stopped over the last few months because of a small injury that she had. But that's my unwinding. Actually, that's the best part of my day in the evening. Getting on a horse, especially with your daughter with you and just galloping up out. So that's one way of sort of unwinding, and it's a great way of unwinding. So that's primarily what I look forward to. But since I've stopped that for a decent amount of time, it's just more so because it's summer holidays for the kids. So trying to do more things. With the family. Last weekend, I took my daughter and son out for a night spent at the beach, which they wanted to do camping. So this was something it was great experience, and I think experiences are something that you need to give your kids more than material things.
That's true. That's true. So coming back to the work area, what do you think are the key attributes to,
Key
be a
attributes to
good
what?
leader?
Oh, okay. So I think the key attribute to be a good leader is to listen to others. People actually aren't very open to listen to others, and generally, as a nation, we don't listen. If a person is talking, we don't let them finish, and we just splash out our thoughts before even he or she has ended the conversation. So I think you need to be a very good listener, and you need to be even so. For example, being able to take a criticism or a feedback from anyone junior to you, anyone who's less experienced than you. I mean, in ISM, I have a co-founder who's 26-year-old, much younger than me, and if you ask him, I do listen to him a lot. And that's unusual, actually. People generally refrain from taking feedback and refrain from taking criticism, but I personally feel that it's not about experience or age that can really make you listen to someone or not listen to someone, because you have some fantastic younger generation who understand today's era better than you. So it's always, I think, key to success and key attribute as a leader is to be able to listen to your team and to accept failures as well, which we generally don't. And once you fail, it's about how quick you rise back again, right? I mean, out of whatever I've done in life, I think I failed more than 50 times and things, right? But it's about how quick you get back and you sort of strive to sort of overcome that failure. So those are, I think, the key attributes. I would say be a good listener and be a positive sort of, listen to critique and listen to feedback. And that's what I think is a fundamental of a good leader.
And that's true. So within your team, whenever there's conflict, how do you as a leader feel like the best way to resolve it?
Oh, so at times I think so the conflict actually is. Let's talk about an example for the audience as well. So, conflict is a work-related conflict that you have a deadline, for example, and you need to sort of deliver something, and the customer is having high expectations from you. They're having a public press, launch of something, and you need to deliver that, right? Irrespective of whatever challenges you're having. So the other day we were sitting at a client side, and my team was there, and it was I think 2 a.m. And they were really they've been working for the last 18, 20 hours. And I said, guys, I think we've been talking about solving some one issue, and we weren't coming up with a solution. I said, what I think we should do is we should get out of this place. We should get some fresh air, and let's talk while walking outside or something of that. Change of environment is very important, because when you're solving a problem, you're actually sort of experiencing that problem. You're sitting in the middle of it, right? And if you change your atmosphere, if you change your surrounding, then you do get some creative thought coming into you, which wasn't coming to you earlier because you were in a bubble inside, working under pressure with the customer there on your head. So I think a key to resolve is always to sort of talk it out, get different perspectives, look at things from different angles. I think you do find, and I tell my team that, listen, I'm not very technical, but at times I give a solution which is really out of the box, right? And it's random, and maybe 3 out of 10 times it does work. So So I think that's what it's. The key is that whenever you want to solve a problem or challenge, get out of that environment, right? Once you're out of that environment, then you're able to see things from a more bird's eye view, and are able to actually identify what the problems are and probably perhaps solve it better.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. So, about your work, outside of your work, if you had a chance to do something else, you know, way back in time, would you have done something different or would you have done, the same thing?
I don't know. I've always had a passion of being an archaeologist. I've always wanted to find treasure,
That's
right?
fun.
And I keep telling my daughter that, because she's a great she's a rowing champ, rider, and a swimmer. So I keep telling him that we will explore the sea one day and find some wrecks of old ships and stuff, right? I mean, even hopefully when I retire earlier in life and sort of do all of that, I think I want to take time and sort of, explore things which, perhaps I would have never gotten the chance to. Other than that, I think I see things the same. I personally feel that where I am, uh, scarcity is what creates inventions and innovation, right? So, and that's what happened with me, starting the first company 12 years ago and then moving on to the second one. So I think, personally speaking, I feel content. I'm in a good place. And to also keep myself busy, addition to this, I also run a trust, which is called Seed Pakistan. We have about 50 schools that we've adopted. We physically rehabilitate them. We improve the quality of education, and we have a vocational training center. So what I really want to do moving forward is also that Pakistan has a problem where we have a high population of youth, and we are providing trainings to women, especially in Kurangi and Ibrahim Hedri localities. But I really, really, really want to sort of bridge the gap and sort of use technology to actually further skill this youth. I would do multiple other things. I mean, yes, I mean, I'm at a great place. I would love to where I am and content. But once I'm done with this, once where I feel that these have reached, then I would like to take more time off and sort of do these things which further make me sort of satisfied and content.
And that sounds like a perfect plan. So, to the young people, the young people who just finished their studies, who are at, the beginning of their careers, completely clueless, what would you tell them? What kind of advice would you give them?
Yeah, so for example, I would definitely give them one specific advice with the era of AI and with things changing, and all industries changing, right? I mean, Bill Gates about 10, 12 years ago said that future will be where you'll be taxing robots and
Yeah.
providing a subsidy to humans for not doing anything, right? So I keep telling, the younger lot, I keep telling them that there is no specific age to learn a computer language. You need to know a computer language because the future workforce is computers, is machines, right? So your edge will always be if you have a computer knowledge, computer language, so coding and everything, right? And kids from the age of 6 can learn that, right? So you don't have to be a university student. So, but now talking about university students who graduate and they want to conquer the world, but they need to understand that it has to be a step at a time. I see that these younger lot, they graduate and they just switch jobs 1 year, 1 year, 1 year, 1 year. That's a worst thing to do because ideally it takes about 2 years for you to really create an outcome in at one of the employers, and then is a maybe reasonable time, but not 1 year for sure. Minimum 2 years. So that's one. And the other thing is be open to learn. Be open to learn from anyone and everyone, and try to learn as much. And one thing I would really want to tell people is, although I mean my habit is also not that great on that, is read. We don't read. We need to read as a nation, right? We've
That's true.
forgotten how we don't. The newspapers have gone. The physical newspaper has gone. Uh, Physical books have disappeared. I think I'm not the best person and the biggest advocate, but I'm not the best person to say that because I'm not a very avid reader. But I would read things that are of my interest, more work related and stuff like that. But the younger lot should read anything and everything under the world, right, and know everything. So those are the few recommendations.
I agree 100%. So, looks like we're getting to the end. So, tell
Sure.
us what think about the utility of CxO Forum?
So see, unfortunately, again, I've not been able to churn out the maximum utility out of CxO Forum, where I'm sure that if I give more time and if I dive into the forum, I'll be able to actually churn out more benefits out of it. But I think it's a great platform of getting thought leaders together, industry leaders together, and creating an ecosystem. And hopefully, I feel that with such platforms, we will be open to collaborate amongst each other. We are very, as a nation, we are very protective of our things. We are very reluctant of sharing things. We are very reluctant of collaborating. And that's the worst thing. I think collaboration is key for any company or any individual to grow, because I don't know I'm not great at everything, right? I mean, I have weaknesses, and I need to be willing to sort of improve those weaknesses by collaborating with more people who have strengths in that area, right? So I personally believe wherever I've reached, I have not reached on my own, absolutely. It's absolutely an amazing team that I've been able to gather over the years. And without them, I am no one. And I personally feel that a forum like CxO gives you that capability to sort of interact with like-minded people and to be able to actually collaborate and do something bigger and serve the bigger and make more impact overall. So yeah, absolutely, and I think it's more physical meetups need to happen with time, but those are always good as opposed to virtual ones. But it's a great platform, and kudos to Governor Masroor for creating this from scratch and reaching where he is today.
Well, thank you so much for saying that, and thank you for your time. I've learned a lot.
My
I'm sure everybody else learned so much, and thank you again for your time.
my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me here, and lovely talking to you. Thank you.
Amazing. Have a good day.
Take care. Thank you. Bye bye. Bye.